Welcome everybody to the Join Dota League Season number 4, Division 1 and 2 Asian Playoff. It is going to be Assail versus Mineski in this best of 3 series, and well, Mineski, although they've had some lineup or roster issues of their own, they have been looking fairly decent with the new roster, I do have to say. Of course, in the Dota 2 Asia Championship qualifiers, every CAEA, Southeast Asian team, was handicapped kind of, just because, well, they had to play in Chinese servers for the most part. If they were playing up against fellow Southeast Asian teams, yes, they could actually play properly, but Mineski, even up against certain Chinese teams, didn't do all that bad, in all fairness, so I'd still just put them as favorites coming into this particular series, especially since, well, I haven't seen Assail for a really long time, but looks like they just have a crap ton of stand-ins. I mean, Death has been there for Assail or from the start, from at least from what I've seen of them. But the other names, well, don't ring a bell, unfortunately. So we're gonna see if it's gonna work out for Assail or not, or if Mineski will just get their hands on things. And as things stand now, I guess we're not gonna have a proper load-in, just classic Southeast Asia, man. Got to have those issues. I cannot even blame Southeast Asians' delays or the start delays of a game to Southeast Asia, just because, I mean, delays happen everywhere. Unfortunate as it may be, teams are constantly late. It's kind of a global issue, and I have no idea how people should fix it. Probably enforce rules a little bit more, just because it's ridiculous that some certain teams are like 95% late, pretty much. But we're gonna just be here. Hopefully they're gonna load in as well and keep our fingers crossed. It is only one player missing after all at the moment, because the other one that got disconnected has already made it back as well. And thank God, I guess, for the pause feature that was introduced a couple of patches ago, that you can actually wait things out in a private lobby. And oh, what do we know? Vitamin Light has connected as well. So guys, this is gonna be a best of 3. I'm of course from HeflaTV, my name is Coucher, and well, I'm gonna be flying solo at least for the first game. Maybe for the second game somebody magical will appear to help me out, but for now, for the time being, it is just me that you have to work with. But Mineski, they do have the first pick, as well as being on the Dire side. Then again, lots of teams actually do prefer to be on the Radiant side. It's a little bit easier to stack Ancients, for example. And if you're the Radiant offlaner, you have access to the side pool as well. So that can be a pretty huge just advantage that you may gain. Looking at the bans though, Brewmaster band, as well as is the Axe. Can't say it's all that surprising, maybe Axe a little bit more so, but even then, it's just Axe is that popular of a hero at the moment, and Assail banning the Axe, maybe Mineski would have to consider something like a Broodmother ban. Not every team likes to play the Broodmother, but if Assail should be one of those, just banning an Axe is definitely nice. Axe is excellent against Broodmother. I mean, the more units just right-clicking away at the Axe, the better for his counter helix. And well, everybody knows that Broodmother has a ton of units. I mean, just those Brewlings, that would be easy counter helix procs left and right. And it's not like the Broodmothers, just Spiderlings, would do that much damage to the Axe at the same time. That's like probably the biggest issue about this. Especially if a full Crimson Guard should come out, for example. But Ember Spirit was banned out instead. I mean, Ember Spirit is a strong hero, and it's rather a popular one as well. Especially so in the Chinese teams. But what will Assail ban out themselves? I guess something like a Slark might always be decent. The Dark Pact is actually pretty good against Broodmother. Maybe I'm getting too hung up on the Broodmother though. They do ban out the Vengeful Spirit instead. Also, a good start that is actually fairly often the first pick as well for a team. Just as a support, doesn't give too much away yet. The minus armor that hero can bring and the defensive capabilities of a swap, they are absolutely excellent. Especially just being able to take Roshan early on, for example. But now Mineski going for a Batrider instead. So for Assail, Tidehunter is available if they want to go for some bigger team fight. If not, a Juggernaut and a Troll Warlord. Either or could be picked here. Maybe together with something like a Skyrive Mage, possibly. Or it might be like Jugger, Tidehunter. They really have near and endless possibilities as their first picks. And since I have no idea what they like to run, then cannot even predict that way. I still think Juggernaut is just that strong of a hero at the moment. Blade Fury, it will make it so that if need be, Juggernaut can even solo lane against Batrider. Probably not the most preferred lane, but with the Blade Fury you should be able to escape the clutches of the Batrider sticky napalm at least. But they do start with a Skywrath Mage, so nothing out of the ordinary in the slightest for now. And the Assail secondary pick, Centaur, I guess would be pretty damn nice. Making it so as well as if Batrider comes and lassos somebody out, you can actually catch up with the rest of your heroes if you use Stampede. But Faceless Void will be the pick instead. So Faceless Void, Skywrath Mage, going back like half a year, maybe a little bit more by now even. Just that combination is ridiculously strong, it really is. Just easiest Mystic Flare setup in the Skywrath Mage's life, more or less. Of course, Faceless Void is pretty decent against Batrider as well, if you can actually react in time walk in a Chronosphere while Batrider is lassoing somebody, for example. And all in all, it is just so hard to play up against a Faceless Void. You have to just position yourself so, well, near perfect all the time. Of course, Mineski now with the Batrider, they might try to single out the Faceless Void if they can get the tabs of him, just have vision and get close enough to actually lasso him out and focus him down first. But depending on Faceless Void's item choices, even that might not be that easy. But Mineski, they are going for an IO second pick. IO second pick is gonna maybe make it so that the Assail will kind of waste or focus a little bit too much maybe on the IO's partners, maybe ban out the Tiny. I mean, Tiny is definitely great. Even in the Chronosphere, especially with the backup of the IO, Mystic Flare might not be able to kill him because Tiny is pretty beefy. I mean, Aghanim Scepter gives you lots of just survivability in itself already. And Faceless Void just would get craggy exteriored all the time as well, trying to right click away at the Tiny. I think Tiny is probably the scariest combination with the IO. I mean, early game you have Avalanche Toss, which can blow up people with ease. Late game, just Aghanim Scepter Tiny with Overcharge. It's just doing ridiculous amounts of cleave damage, and not only does it do a lot of teamfight damage, it's also just the buildings, the pushing that the Tiny can whoop out. But Mineski did ban out a Centaur first, so they do not want to deal with the hoof stomp just waiting for or preying on the relocates maybe. Something like a Disruptor might also be a worthy ban. Disruptor is a really good follow-up to a Faceless Void as well, to be honest. You have the Chronosphere on multiple people, or let's say he has. Then you also, once the Chronosphere is about to end, you pop the Kinetic Field and Static Storm, and suddenly they cannot do anything else either for another like 5 seconds or so. Unless they have BKBs, of course, but that's another matter. Morphling though will be the first ban in the second phase for Assail, so they want to prevent the Morphling IO. I guess Morphling IO mid lane is rather strong as well, and it's just a waveform into the tether slow and just right clicks to follow with the Wisp balls helping out. Definitely not many heroes who would be able to survive that. Troll Warlord though, in the end, does get banned out by Mineski. Troll definitely a nice synergy with the Faceless Void, who has the built-in bash. So with the Battle Trance, more attack speed means more bashes. And of course Troll himself as well, when he's in the melee form with the Berserker's Rage, can also bash, so there might have been a possibility of epic bash lordness going out from Assail. Also just creating the mischance with the melee whirling axes is pretty nice for the Troll and whatnot. And Troll as a mid laner against IO +1 is actually pretty decent. Especially if it's like IO Phantom Assassin. I saw that matchup, I do believe, a couple of days ago. And the Troll did really well in that. Just every single time the IO Phantom Assassin tried to jump him, it just activates a whirling axis and suddenly Phantom Assassin doesn't do any damage at all almost.
Earth Shaker.
Assail going for an Earth Shaker. I guess it's pretty decent against the IO as well. Or even the Batrider, just a long range Fisher to maybe help out whoever gets lassoed or make it so the Batrider cannot at least pull them completely out of position. I mean, as you know, well, we see their partner for the IO. Bristleback was also banned out. Bristleback IO is something like that Nvidia Aces, for example, loved to run from the Southeast Asian scene. Yesterday, NIP played it against... no, it wasn't Power Ranger, it was... Oh yeah, Asus Polar, I believe. And kind of wrecked with it, having a Slardar there as well. But Mineski, they of course need another support as well. Something like Witch Doctor definitely wouldn't be bad, because you would have the Tether with the Voodoo Restoration, so lots of heals coming out that way. If not, I guess you may try to go defensive, but I wouldn't favor a Shadow Demon here. I would definitely like to have something with like a proper stun, if it's however possible. If they want to go really defensive, Shadow Demon might be it as well. But is it going to be tiny? I'm hoping for a Chaos Knight. I just want to see Chaos Knights, but it's going to be a Silencer instead. We have no idea yet if it's going to be support, maybe a mid lane Silencer, maybe even a safe lane farm. I guess they can just figure things out as they go along. But Silencer has been used in the past as well to deal with the Faceless Void. You just wait out the Chronosphere, then you press the Global Silence just to make sure the Chronosphere is used. Whereas at the same time while the Chronosphere is active, nobody else can actually help out the Faceless Void kill somebody in there. Unless they are ranged and just come in with right clicks, but by that, Mineski will have a chance to counter-initiate already, just Batrider jumping in, dragging somebody out. For Assail though, Invoker mid lane maybe for example now. Have the Faceless Void either off lane or safe lane. Run the Invoker mid lane here. Of course, if you choose your mid laners, you're gonna have to ponder whether the IO will be a dual lane with anybody in the mid lane or whether it's going to be just a tri-lane with the IO. Viper though is picked up from Assail, so I guess a pretty tanky hero with the corrosive skin, with just poison attack, definitely can throw a lot of counter harass onto the IO in return if it should be a dual lane for Mineski, any kind of in the mid lane. Viper's actually pretty decent in that indeed. But Mineski, they have about 34 seconds in the reserve time, 12 seconds for the normal time as well to make this fourth pick decision here. They don't really have the space to go for something extremely tanky, especially now that the Bristleback was banned out as well. I guess Chaos Knight and Tiny are reasonably so. But they do go for a Medusa, so they're gonna just have lots of mana given into the Medusa with the Tether from the IO. Although at the moment Silencer definitely doesn't want to build Arcane Boots, and IO I guess is the only candidate so far for those items. But Medusa I guess is pretty decent, especially let's say the Faceless Void comes in, but you and wants to chrono the Medusa gets the Stone Gaze off before. That suddenly means that there's not much the Medusa has to be afraid of, and if he has the Mana Shield activated, even a Skyrift Mage, Mystic Flare probably will not be able to kill her off completely. So it's pretty decent in that regard. Also, like I did mention, IO Medusa combination is pretty strong just because Medusa will have that extra mana to work with, and well, mana is just pure survivability for the Medusa. Now though, 5th ban's about to come out. Mineski, I still don't know what to expect of the Silencer. But Tiny is now banned out, so I guess they might have anticipated a Medusa mid lane with IO Tiny safe, something like that. Although then again, even with a Viper, I guess IO Tiny would have been pretty decent in the mid lane nonetheless. Although, even with the IO helping out, just Viper is actually pretty good against any kind of melee carry, and I think that is also why Mineski did go for that ranged hero. Then again, they could still go for something like a Gyrocopter to follow, as now the Brood Mother is banned out. I was kind of expecting the Brood to come out for Assail later on, especially with that Axe ban in the earlier phases, but you definitely don't want to go for Brood Mother early on in the draft. It just gives so much time for the enemy team to react to the Brood Mother and get the necessary lane counter, so to say, maybe even. Assail though going for a Doombringer now. So dooming up a Medusa, dooming up a Silencer, preventing the Global Silence from happening, suddenly give them, or might give them, a huge advantage in the team fights. Mineski at the moment, they are rather reliant on being able to stop the Chronosphere. But Assail then again, it's not like they have the most massive amounts of damage going into the Chrono, as Mineski now going for the Lycan. So getting some extra late game of course, but also some pretty nice pushing going on, and push is a really good strategy to utilize up against the Doombringer, who gets effective a little bit later on in the game. Definitely needed level 6 first. I mean, you can get kills before that as well if you're in a 1v1 matchup with the Scorched Earth coming out. Maybe an Orb of Venom on you as well and whatnot, but definitely Mineski might be able to take advantage of the Doombringer not being just that productive earlier on. Then again, the same might be said for Medusa. Every now and then you see Medusa games where it's played extremely aggressively, just go in, use the Stone Gaze to force fights, go for buildings. This might be one of those games. Of course, you have to always make sure that you do not group up with the Faceless Void. Even if there is kind of only the Mystic Flare to follow the Chronosphere or combo with the Chronosphere mostly, it's still going to be rather tough. I mean, you never want to get chronoed, but Go has been given already. Shortest start pause of my life. But now to introduce the lineups for the side of Assail for this best of 3 series for the upper bracket of Join Dota League season number 4, the Asian division. It is going to be Psionics on the Faceless Void, Vexus to play the Earthshaker, leaving Amaranth on the Skyrift Mage, Vitamin Light taking up the mid lane role on the Viper, and last will be Death on the Doombringer. As for the side of Mineski, RR is going to play that support silencer by the looks of it, leaving 5593 OA to be the IO. We have Secret on the Medusa, Right to be the Lycan. Well, I guess he is a proper stand-in as he is Yamaguchi in disguise. But the last will be Jay on the offlane Batrider. So I guess Yamaguchi is missing indeed. Usually Jay, of course, the mid laner for them. And I have to say Jay is probably one of the more impressive Southeast Asian players. He does just so well in the mid lane for the majority of his games. And he's really, I think, one of the forces just dragging, maybe not dragging Mineski, but helping Mineski out. The moment of Mineski, they want to ensure themselves at least one bounty rune. Of course, the Batrider might come in, try to get the bounty rune and just Firefly away. Then again, Vexus is there, has that Fisher, as well as, of course, Faceless Void for the slow, but they... Well, Amaranth comes in, but never mind, he's to the high ground, he is safe for now, Jay that is. Bounty rune will be picked up by the Faceless Void, takes some damage from the Firefly, will be perfectly fine though, doesn't even need to use a Tango if he doesn't want to. This ward though does give some pretty decent vision to Mineski, as far as, well, the first rune was concerned. And of course blocking out the big camp. So there won't be any triple pulls, won't be any massive stackings for that particular camp. Then again, I say they don't really have any like super great heroes to clear up stacks. I guess Faceless Void, if you get the Mask of Madness, you can farm up pretty much more or less anything. There's an off chance that it's gonna be a Battle Fury Faceless Void, just go for massive farm. But Jay now, Firefly activated once again. He's trying to toy around with Amaranth, who's of course trying to put as much harass as he can into the Batrider with the Arcane Balls. He's not gonna find him now. Finally he is, as Jay has to escape with the Firefly wearing out. Mid lane though, Lycan probably not gonna have the most fun of times. Earlier on, Viper cannot harass that heavily so, but more points into Poison Attack, more points into Nether Toxin will make Lycan's life just a lot harder than it usually need be. Death though gets Curse of the Silented on him, let's just put it like that. Silented sounds just somehow wrong in my ears. But Silencer definitely can put quite a lot of harass into the Doombringer, but it being a dual lane at the moment with the IO helping out the Lycan, which I guess is maybe a little bit necessary as well early on. Give him the necessary regeneration as Owa comes in with the Spirits, puts some damage into Viper, and no points into Corrosive Skin yet means that at least with the Spirits, IO himself takes no damage in return. So far 9-1 on the Lycan compared to a 6-0 on the Viper. But this is kind of a lane that before Lycan hits level 6, they should never be able to kill the Viper. And Viper, if it's level 6 at the same time as well, using the Viper Strike on the IO for example, might even get a counter kill if Mineski have to dive a tower. And of course Doombringer now getting some last hits, getting decent-ish levels so far, level 2.5, so exactly the same as the Batrider. And I guess Batrider doing better in the sense that he's up against the tri-lane, whereas the Doombringer only has to face 2 heroes. But the Batrider is way more annoying, as we can see already. Just Magic Stick has been purchased by Psionics though, so that's not gonna be that big of an issue. As mid lane now, they want to go on Vitamin Light. They do have, well, felt like a haste rune, but just tether movement speed. He's pretty fast, but look at the damage Owa already took. Haste rune was on Owa himself. Yeah, so there was a haste rune, just not on the IO, or not on the Lycan rather, but just taking way too much damage for this amount, the amount of damage they themselves managed to put into the Viper. So Vitamin Light And probably having a pretty fun enough time. I mean, 11 last hits up against the dual lane. Definitely not too shabby. And now that one point to the corrosive skin as well to slow down Mineski if they do try to come at them. So I'm not too sure what to feel about this kind of dual lane. I just think like maybe going for a safe lane, tri lane. With Lycan getting that early level 5 or so. Then going into the jungle and having like the silencer farm up the lane instead. And just have the Medusa up against Viper mid lane. Might have been just a tad bit better, to be honest, in my opinion. But well, what do I know now? Lycan still at least ahead of the Viper in last. It's Faceless Void though, topping them all. Of course, more or less absolute free farm for him. Batrider has made his way into the jungle as well. Has actually quite a couple of stacks to farm up there. But oh no! Miscalculation. It does get some gold, but he misses so much XP. That was 2 big camps worth of XP. Owa might have gotten some of it. Or it was almost 3 big camps. That's actually a huge blow to the Batrider. That's a lot of XP he did not gain here. As bottom lane, they were trying to push things out. Jay now does TP back to the bottom lane. There, oh, the time walk comes out. The concussive shot is there as well. Firefly immediately activated. So Psionics will not go and run into that one. If they had the Fissure, they could maybe still try to go for a kill. There's the Fissure as well, but on the wrong side for the Faces, so still might be able to catch them out. They need a slow anything. Time walk will be off cooldown. Is he gonna dive the tower? Nope. Not a man enough for the Faceless Void now. He's even taking some harassment from the tier 1 here. That could have been an easy kill. Faceless Void just needed 1 more right click with a time lock or 2 more right clicks without one. But they do not get the kill. Still only 1 kill on the board, and that is for Assail. Death though. TP Spectre top lane, almost level 4, so they are fairly even with Jay. And Jay, well, he came in, got a little bit of XP, now had to back off immediately almost. Now Death, taking some harassment, gonna get silenced up, but that doesn't mean too much. Now, well, he has the Scorched Earth to get rid of the Curse of the Silent, thank God for him, which is level 2 now as well. So that really well played, having the Raise Dead to get rid of the last word to begin with. And then once the silence ends from the last word, whoa, mid lane, we almost had a kill on the Lycan. My God, Viper Strike was used for that as well. I guess Aya with the bottle charges just barely managed to kill the Lycan, or keep the Lycan alive. Kill the Lycan alive, man. Good stuff. But it's not looking still that great for Mineski as far as the laning is concerned. At least Batrider is slightly ahead in last hit numbers, if nothing else, of course. Some of them being jungle creeps maybe is a little bit inflating the creep score for him. Of course, Doom has the Devour, and if he goes for Midas, he's just gonna get ridiculous amounts of farm anyway. That's just how that hero works. But now Lycan did go for that medallion really early on. TPing to the mid lane now. Back to the mid lane, I'd have to say. I guess with the medallion, their just power to be aggressive is a little bit stronger. If he gets level 6, has the medallion up onto a Viper who, well, against magic damage is pretty resistant, even with only that 1 point into the corrosive skin. But he has already 7 armor thanks to the Ring of Aquila. So with the Medallion of Courage, it is going to be reduced to, well, 0. So they might be able to chase him down with the Shapeshift if they really want to attempt it. Especially if the Silencer should rotate in, although not the greatest of roamers. Vexus though has himself an Invis rune. No Echo Slam of course since it's not level 6, but there's the Enchant Totem, it's gonna come out. Viper Strike will follow as well. They want to go for the kill. Minus armor is there on Vexus though. Alright, Ayo trying to keep him alive, but this is going to be first blood. 2-0. Well, I guess the one was only Batrider dying to the creeps in the jungle, but 7 minutes in, we just now have the first blood. In the meantime, Death might be in some trouble. Last word comes up, but he got the Scorched Earth off. There is, well, I think it's gonna go down here to the Curse of the Silent, or is he Scorched Earth? Is some pretty nice regeneration, so never mind, he is gonna survive. So Assail, they do have the kill advantage so far. Farm wise, I guess Batrider now getting some pretty decent farm in the jungle is gonna make it in the favor of Mineski by a tiny bit, from the laning at least. Psionics though, not going in for a Hand of Midas, not going for some greedy farming build on the Faceless Void, just Power Threads into Mask of Madness next. I guess he wants to start fighting, use the Chronosphere on cooldown to just set up something. If you can use the Chronosphere to kill a Medusa, for example, it's gonna be probably one of the just most better Chronosphere usages you can get. And now Tranquil Woods picked up by the Earthshaker, might be Soul Ring next, but Mineski, they might be ready for their own aggression now. 7 minutes 40 seconds in with him dying in the jungle like that earlier on and missing some XP from that. Being level 7 now, having the Blink Dagger, that is huge for Jay. So with this Blink Dagger now, suddenly things might be turned in their favor. For example, mid lane Lycan has to shapeshift it if need be. Might not even be entirely necessary with the lasso coming out and the medallion, of course, making Viper a hell of a lot more susceptible. And now there's the lasso coming out. Minus armor shapeshifts just to make sure the damage will be there, and they do get the kill. I think shapeshift might have been an extreme overkill here, because it's a pretty long cooldown on the first level. And now suddenly, if the Viper Strike should be used in return, that's most likely going to be a kill on Lycan as well, with +1 hero rotating in. But kill is secured, so it's still nice. I mean, you definitely want your Lycan to get a pretty fast Vladimir's offering if you can help it. Because with the Vlads, you can farm just that much easier, go for easy Ancients, get Roshan down. The moment though, looking at the net worth, Faceless Void is number 1, but Medusa is the second, and not too far off the Faceless Void as well, of course. Vitamin Light, even with that 1 death, still looking pretty damn good, but this Pathrider is quite far ahead of the Doombringer for the time being, who is almost level 6, so I guess he doesn't need that much farm to use the Doom to just set up kills early on. Urn of Shadows though, also picked up on IO. Mask of Madness finished on the Faceless Void. So when are we gonna see the Void in action? I guess they might try to go for Chei almost immediately, but then again, he has Blink. Just lays down the Firefly, blinks away, and drags the entire creep wave with him. Really well played by him at the moment, just making the push of Assail completely non-existent. And speaking of pushing, Secret is trying to do the same with the help of RR. How aggressive does he really want to go though? Of course, he has the Stone Gaze if need be to escape. Then again, if the Chronosphere keeps him in place, the Stone Gaze duration will be the same. Then again, if you do survive the Chronosphere and then pop the Stone Gaze, but that's a big if, just because if you get Chronoed while the Mana Shield is active, you might be just too low on mana to actually activate the Stone Gaze, and since he doesn't have a Magic Stick or a Magic Wand, it's gonna make things even harder, but they do get the tower down for now. Mystic Snake is also a pretty decent ability to just push out the lanes if need be. It's decent for harassment if there is anybody on the lane. But bottom lane now, Shay hanging about, maybe wants to go for a kill on the Faceless Void. Definitely would be a high priority kill for them to get. I mean, he's number 2 in net worth after all. Oh, but he gets just doomed up, stunned as well. Nowhere to tether to. At least he has a double damage in the bottle to use even after he respawns, but no boots means no escape for sure. Medusa does get disconnected though. So the troubles have begun, guys. Hopefully nothing too major. And we might see him just reconnecting in a minute or two. So far, of course, we have no idea what... Never mind, he's already reconnecting, so that was really minor. But he has up to 2.2k gold. I'd expect him to go for a Lincoln Sphere. I mean, Scarlet Mage, yes, can pop the Lincolns rather easily. The closer you are, the easier it is, because Arcane Bolt, if you cast it, it actually needs to land on the hero before he activates the Lincoln. But you can still Ancient Seal it off if need be. Although you would like to save Ancient Seal for somebody else, I think. Maybe the Silencer to prevent the Global Silence from coming out, for example, or prevent that Shapeshift from coming out on the Lycan. But Lincolns, I think, is gonna be one of the better items to go for in Secrets, because you're up against the Doombringer after all. Jado now might try to just steal a little bit of jungle farming. He's going for at least one camp with the Firefly, and we'll get back to the low ground, pick up the Bounty Rune as well. Doesn't have a bottle, but he has enough mana anyway to just go for a lasso gank once again. Vexus now this time around, he's hanging about mid lane, almost level 6 even. 1 XP point away from it. But Secret in the meantime, he's still applying pressure now. This time it's the tier 1 instead of the tier 2 rather, instead of the tier 1 of course. As Death did get 1 kill with the Doom, now he can just farm up, go back home, regen up with health, with mana. And just continue what he's doing. He just wants to get 500 gold somehow. Uses another Devour, I guess. That is going to be enough when it times out. So he's gonna have the Hand of Midas finished. 11.5 minutes in, not that bad of timing, I guess. So he's gonna make sure he has enough gold and will back off into his own base now, I would expect. So Vladimir is finished at the same time as the Midas for the Doombringers. Doombringer now will start catching up big time. I mean, it's not like he's that far behind as it is, just thanks to the Devour being maxed out first. Amaranth though, down to half HP from 1 Mystic Snake. So you have to be that much more careful mid lane though. We might have a gank, but there's, well, no smoke, and Vitamin Light saw it coming from a mile away. Who is pretty close to that mech. Jay now, they have a sentry down, they do the ward. The Silencer gets the ward down. So Jay just dragging the creeper away once again into the Firefly, keeping the aggro on himself if he can. And well, I guess they want to go for the tower, but there's the Viper Strike coming out. Echo Slam spent as well with the hasted Vexes. Global Silence will delay things out as alright. He's trying to escape, or is he? Are they going to chase down Vexes? Vexes trying to TP out and will be successful. Never. Oh, God, I thought the Flame Break might be there just in time, but not to be. So Shapeshift and Global Silence forced out if you're Assail only for a Viper Strike. That's actually not too bad of a trade at all. Well, never mind, Echo Slam was also spent, but without the haste rune, it's really hard for him to actually get in position for it anyway. But with this, Jay still picks himself up a 4-staff, so excellent farm on the Batrider, but is it excellent enough? There's the Chronosphere in the meantime, Auto Secret with the Scorcher. There's gonna be a Doom to follow, even the Mystic Flare was used, man. He was tanky enough to take the Mystic Flare, but without the Stone Gaze, well, never mind, they might get the counter kill anyway. Then again, the Fisher comes out onto Ova, 5 seconds relocate, not enough. Just dies before, too squishy, and now, alright, never mind. Psionics will back off for now, but 5-1 Assail. I do have to say, looking extremely good this early on into the game. It's making some pretty nice movements. Mineski so far have only been able to get that 1 kill. Global Silence, of course, will be off cooldown in 60 seconds, but there's a mech now finished as well on the Viper, so even if they get globaled, they can at least use the mech for some extra survivability. Some extra armor is always going to be nice as well up against the Medallion and just the physical damage of a Lycan and the Medusa as well. Although Medusa, no split shot yet, because she is only level 9 after all. But slowing down the Medusa's farm with the Chrono and Doom being used, definitely necessary. I mean, it's kind of a big investment with those 2 ultimates, but it's definitely worth it. Now though, Vexus might be in some trouble. Just wants to go for his Soul Ring, but Jay, does he see Vexus? Yes, he does. Fisher will come out just as he blinks in next to him. Enchant Totem as well, trying to buy some space. But with the Sticky Napalm there, is he going to catch up Yellow with the 4-staff? He definitely is. Right clicks to follow from Secret. Mystic Snake not even needed. RR comes in to get the first points of intelligence stolen for him. In the meantime, Lycan together with Jaya going for Roshan, already down to less than half HP. So it's a kill on the Earthshaker. Maybe a tier 1 bottom lane. Maybe not, it's full HP almost. But it is gonna be erosion. They might lose a tier 1. Glyph is used though. So Age is picked up. They have the Shapeshift. They might even try to fight this with the Chronosphere being on cooldown. Doom is off cooldown, but Death just doesn't have enough mana. So that's the perfect opportunity to strike for them. Are they gonna go for it though? At least go for the tower deny. Shapeshift comes out maybe a little bit too late. They destroy the tower, so even if they lose a couple of heroes, it's not that bad. Viper Strike used. Mech is there as well. But there's the Global Silence coming out, preventing, well, the Chronosphere if it was a cooldown from coming out. Vexus will throw away Fisher now. Ova in some trouble, but with the Tether. Oh, never mind. Not gonna be able to escape. Chronosphere came off cooldown. Mystic Flare used to kill off the IO. Silence onto O right, and he's gonna lose his Aegis, maybe even more. Death still too low on mana for a Doom, but I don't think he's gonna need it. Vexus, he's around. Has the Echo Slam if need be. Echo Slam comes out, and O right, well, might be. Oh God, are you kidding me? Poison damage will not take him down. Vitamin Light. He got petrified up just as he was trying to right click. My God, Lycan was saved. 30 HP. Was a little bit less even when he started limping out, I guess. Secret, big time, bailing out his wolf brother here. Wow. I did not expect the Lycan to just survive that at all. And in the meantime, RR has managed to find himself a Hand of Midas and a Silencer. So that's actually some pretty great gold coming out from the support Silencer. Has only been a part of 1 kill after all, so no gold from there. They have destroyed 2 tier 1, so I guess that helps a great deal. But with this now, he just has himself a way to actually be impactful in the game. Just get Aghanim Scepter, maybe straight off Refresher Orb. I mean, Aghanims actually wouldn't be that bad. Forces, well, Faces Void in the meantime does get picked off by Jay jumping him and Relocate coming in, but it just means, oh, in the meantime, Blink comes out from Death. They get the Lycan doomed up, but they need the slowest. Concussive Shot will finally get in range and land on O-Right as well. Now the Fisher follows with the Mystic Flare. That is gonna be a death. As Death himself picks up the kill. But he has the Midas, has the Blink now as well. Definitely lots more initiation power for their team all of a sudden. Unfortunately, Vexus isn't anywhere close to a Blink Dagger on the Earthshaker, but it's gonna be fine for him. Batrider picks up Booster Trials in the meantime. Number 3 in net worth. Almost tied up to the Faces Void. Medusa slightly ahead of them both. And Medusa, never mind. Not going for a Lincoln Sphere. So just straight up Eye of Skadi for him. Tank up, get the higher mana pool as well. Faces Void in the meantime. Maelstrom is there for him. So lots of lightning procs coming out with the Mask of Madness, extra attack speed of course. But at the moment 73 is the kill score. Looking at the graphs, it's still about a 3k net profit lead for Mineski just because they are, well, they're one tower ahead, but I guess they've been just farming a tiny bit better than Assail has. 3k in XP as well. Fisher in the meantime does go out onto J. As Chronosphere does come out. I guess they want to go for the kill, and with the Mystic Flare, an easy kill it is indeed. Just no chance. Oh, he even tried to relocate and gets the tether to the creep wave, but Viper struck up immediately. And all those 8 seconds was just 8 seconds too long for him to escape back. I mean, I guess decent-ish attempt to try to save the Batrider, but you should have assumed that the Batrider will die anyway. I mean, what would the IO have been able to do anyway? If you can relocate him out, maybe, but relocating in to help a person like that from such a situation, it was really too optimistic, I think. And Lycan in the meantime, trying to go for his Necrobooks, but it's going to be rather slow. Usually with great farm, Lycan has his Power Threads, Vlads, and a Necro level 3 before 20 minutes in. He of course did go for that medallion first as well, but even so, just Lycan has been struggling a little bit. Didn't have the greatest of lanes, even with the IO helping him out in the mid lane. Viper just isn't an easy opponent there. Lycan just isn't the greatest of dual lanes in such a situation to begin with, I think. Just needs to be babysat a little bit too much, maybe. Let's just put it like that. If it's like a tiny, you can at least go for kills or chaos knight, maybe even a morphling, but with the Lycan, there's no real great tether combination before you're level 6. In the meantime, Viper trying to go for an Aghanim Scepter next, has 2 components already finished from it. As Outright might be in some trouble, Skydive Mage is around. He of course has the silence, needs just 1+1 hero to come around. Or maybe go for a kill on the Silencer, who is level 10 already, so not that bad. Hand of Midas definitely helping out there. But they want to go for something secret. He's around as well, has the Skadi finished, so Medusa still great farm. And Global Silence with the relocate, bottom lane comes out, Psionics. He's gonna be a lot of trouble. Time Walk does not come out in time. Concussive Shot, she did try to buy some time, but Concussive Shot doesn't really help at all if you are literally next to the hero you tried to kill. Viper in the meantime did get last worded up. Of course couldn't use the Viper Strike, or well, didn't want to use the Viper Strike. That's the only way to get rid of the last word now. Wanted to come in, Fisher is there onto the IO. They might want to follow up or try to at least. Now Vexus, he's gonna get silenced up in return. Viper Strike onto RR in the meantime. Kind of a wasted one, but Death comes in, Doom up onto the secret. I think it might be enough to kill him because the relocate is a cooldown. Concussion Shot will slow them down further. As RR is trying to escape death in the meantime. Mystic Flare onto Ova, oh god! Ova will go down to the last Arcane Bolt Secret. He's trying to manfight. His ultimate will end, or the Doom will end. Echo Slam stopping Override for a little bit, but the Mystic Snake comes out. Even more damage. One more right click like and will chase down Vitamin Light as well. With the medallion, definitely enough damage. Secret just needs one right click into death and might get the kill, but never mind. Blink will be there. Doesn't blink to the best positions though. Straight into a Batrider he goes. There's the Eye of Sky slowing him down with the sticky napalm as well. Just look at him. 8 seconds. Oh, we have a Chronosphere though. Nice blink from Jay. Still wants to go for the kill, but too low on mana. Can't go for anything at all. And Snare comes out. He gets bashed by Psionics. They went too far. Secret still wants to go, but the Bash Lord is there from the Faceless Void. So Doom will escape. Faceless Void coming back here as well to the fight, helping out, getting the 1 kill onto Jay. Jay just being too low on mana to finish up that Doombringer right there. Still though, Mineski, a pretty good fight. 3-4-4 for them. I guess he could have still gone a little bit better if they had gotten the Doom and not died in the end. But another Time Walk in Secret. He gets stunned up as well. Does have the Stone Gaze, so he's going to be fine for now. Even just killing a ward in the meantime. Go top, get the regen room, man. Go top, get regen. Nope, not gonna happen. Doom in the meantime does deny up the tower, going for that Aghanim Scepter next, disable the passives if need be. Of course, lots of extra damage, extra survivability for yourself, more mana pool. The damage from Aghanim Scepter is actually ridiculous. I think last at the 3rd level Doom with an Aghanim does like 1280 damage, pure damage. Let me calculate again. Yes, should be 1280 damage. As in the meantime, Lasso comes out onto the Faces with Global Silence to make sure he does not escape this. Necrobooks were used to drain his mana in any case. So nicely done there. Viper Strike is used because Relocate came in IO. He's gonna be going down as the first one. Secret, he got doomed up once again. Doesn't have the mana shield at the moment for some weird reason. And there's the Mystic Flare to bring down Outright. it's just Assail. They were ready for this fight. Secret, nice force step from Jay, trying to keep him safe, and he's gonna be fine. Gets to activate the mana shield, has 10 magic 1 charges as well. So I guess he is gonna be fine for now. In the backlines, Vexus trying to go for RR, or well, I guess he's trying to save his own life more than anything else. Secret now kiting around death, and well, the mana shield too strong. Death. Do they have any stuns? I don't think so. So he does make it out as Vitamin Light kills off the Necro Warrior. Does survive, calculated. And with the Necro Warrior death, easy money for the Aghanim Scepter. Medusa still number 1 in net worth, so even Lycan has gotten up there with a couple of kills, even with him dying. Necro level 2 is finished, so Necro level 3 will come out before 20 minutes, I would expect. Unless he dies again, just almost straight after he respawns. Secret though has picked up. Is it a BKB? No, it's a Maelstrom coming out from Medusa. I was like, what? Don't BKB like not necessary. Viper Strike goes through it, Doom goes through it, Chronosphere goes through it, so would have been a little bit weird, but Maelstrom into Mjolnir I guess might be the choice for him. Attack speed definitely is nice, I think. Just clearing creep waves even faster. Not that it's entirely necessary for a Medusa, but just if you get the Mjolnir shield on you before you get doomed, it's still gonna be a lot of damage if you just hang around in the team fight. Or Mjolnir shield anybody who gets just kind of focused. In the meantime, more sentry warding coming out from Mineski. Their supports, I have to say, have been doing a really good job of just keeping the map vision going in their favor. If you look at the graph, still a 3k network lead for Mineski, 3k in XP as well. Faceless Void though is getting scarier, has himself another Miracle Hammer, but oh, RR, his TP gets cancelled by a level left. Ensnared to follow, Psionics comes in with the Time Walk. Easy kills, and this might be easy Roshan as well. Global Silence is coming off cooldown just now, as the Wolves try to scout a couple of things out. There is a smoke active on a couple of heroes, never mind, Amaranth breaks his smoke as well, of course. No point if it's only like a Sky of Mage smoke. So they get one nice pick off, but it was a support, we have to remember. A support though who, after the Hand of Midas, hasn't gotten a single item. We'll have the point booster. Oh, the Chronosphere, what? Never mind, it didn't land. Time locks are there though, so Che goes down anyway. For a second I thought it's the Chronosphere, but there's the Shapeshift coming out. Necrobook already used. Vexus will go down for sure. Vitamin Light might be the next one. Or is he? Never mind, he's just TPing out. Nothing is to stop it. Although, alright, he just I think it was two, maybe 3 right clicks, killing out the Sky of Mage. And into Roshan, it is Mineski's turn to go. But I have to admit, for a second, I thought that it was the Batrider getting Chronosphere, although he was so far out of it thanks to the Force Staff. But it was just the time lock animation. You still go blue like you're in the Chronosphere. But right now has his Necro level 3 for the next time he wants to use that said item. Secret, does he also have War? No, not yet, but I guess Hyperstone will be next for him. Arcane Boots picked up on Yayo, so that's gonna be more livelihood for the Medusa thanks to the increased mana income. Of course, more mana means more mana shield value. Doombringer though is number 2 in net worth, as you would kind of expect with the Devourer being maxed early on, as well as having the Hand of Midas for about 14 minutes now. Bottom lane though, the smoke is there from Assail. They want to go in, they might get the jump. There's the blink, Doom coming out onto Secret. There's the global signs to try to buy some time, and oh, will he relocate him out? Or they're gonna stand and fight. Vexus, he's gonna go down first thanks to the last of Psionics. Does not have his Doom. Silenced up as well, of course. Amaranth trying to do as much as he can, but Secret, he's doing so much. Maelstrom procs. Doom, it's still on him thanks to the Aghanim Scepter, but who the hell even cares? Ayo just kept him alive for so long. Ayo is dead now, but blink forward to death. They want to go for him. The tower went down. Nice flame break, catching 2. Another time walk away and snare, buying even more time, but death. 3 stacks of sticky napalm. Jay, do you keep on going? Nope, he's gonna play it safe. But they got the tier 2. They got the favorable exchange. They survived the Doom. Ayo, the only casualty for them as Jay. Well, never mind, he did go too far in the end. With the help of the towers and the level death. Batrider does lose his life. So I think just, if you wanted to go for it, go immediately. Then again, Flame Break I think was still on cooldown. But in the end, they maybe wasted a little bit more than they should have. But, oh, another Blink Secret. He's gonna go down. Or is it? Stone Gaze is there. Chronosphere is used. But they're not gonna get a single kill. Petrify is there now with the help of the Silence. Relocate is in though. Do they have enough regeneration? Urn of Shadows, everything. Secret still alive. His man fighting as best as he can. They get 2 kills. Are you kidding me? What a turnaround. Ayo, Owa coming in. Not gonna relocate Secret out. They want to go for the tier 3. As well as they should. Alright though, might lose his HGR to the Viper Strike damage. Looks like that will be the case. But Trax going down. Vitamin Light by himself. Does not have enough to defend. Although Doom buys back now. Secret might be in trouble, but Shapeshift is popped. They are running away with Chronosphere. Never mind, the Chronosphere was used. My bad. But there's a Mjolnir finished on Secret now. He's still gonna get Viper struck up, but TPs are coming in. It's the Batrider. Who's he gonna catch death? Gonna get used up the other. Yeah, even has his Doombringer, just unable to use it. Silencer in the meantime does get killed. Nice flame break by Jay as well. Secret should be able to run things out now, especially with the help of the IO being there. The smoke is there. Doom, oh, onto IO. No tether, no nothing for him to escape. Shapeshift already in cooldown as well, but death ensnares up the Lycan. Psionics comes in with the time walk. They might even get the kill here in the meantime. Lasso onto Vexus. Jay trying to go for a solo kill onto the Earthshaker. Well, that solo kill is gonna be a duo kill, I think. Fisher does land onto Secret though. Why did he turn back? At least go buy yourself a TP and do it fast. Pronto. Or does he try to escape to somewhere else? I guess he does. Jay in the meantime trying to play Sacrificial Lamb and all. Sacrificial he will be indeed. So Mineski, I have no idea why they hung around for so long for just an Earthshaker kill, to be honest. It's not worth losing your Batrider for the Earthshaker. And Secret, he just has to stay there for so long. Quitter is flying out with a TP now. But if the Quitter gets scouted and killed, it's just gonna be, let's say, a semi-disaster. But 22 to 19 now. I mean, Mineski, they were looking good, but they did not manage to claim racks. Just because of a couple of buybacks on Assail. So the buybacks, yes, set them back a little bit. But there's still about a 12k net profit for Mineski. 7.5k in XP as well, but the fights, they aren't going that great, to be honest, for Mineski, if you ask me. I mean, this fight went pretty decent. Just the IO, I think, was more or less the key to success here for the both fights. At the tier 2 here first. And then at the tier 3 in the base as well, of course. Keeping the Medusa alive for so damn long, even though the Medusa being doomed. I mean, the Doom does do a sick amount of damage. Now it's a level 3 Doom as well. In the meantime, AC will be the next item for Override. It does need the recipe as well as the Hyperstone, so still quite a ways to go. About 2.4k gold necessary for it. RR though, going for an Aghanim Scepter and only 400 gold short. So farming up in 60 seconds, he's definitely gonna have it with the use of Hand of Myers, unless he dies, and well, Necrobook is used in the meantime. Vexus gets the Fisher to stop the Necrobook's momentum. And Vexus should be fine, everybody should be fine. So Necrobooks maybe not the best usage out of that for the Lycan. If they get farmed up, it's gonna be even worse. That didn't choose to eat a Necrobook though, but Psionics is like, yeah, kill Necro Archer, go for Necro Warrior as well. Lots of XP, lots of easy gold to be gained. That's a feat of Necrobooks. As Jay in the meantime, I think he was scouted out by something. Some pings were there at least. He's hanging about. He is behind enemy lines. Oh god. Is he gonna get spotted? Fireflies there. He spots out the enemy himself. But he cannot jump anybody or can he? The relocate is there, so I guess it might be possible for them to fight. I mean, Lycan and RR, they're close by as well. But it's just gonna place a ward for now and play it safe. So tier 2 is the target for them. Death does TP in to try to defend, and he should be able to do so, at least get the tower in the night range. Or is he? Nope, range creeps don't come, and with the wolves, they do get the tier 2 down. In the meantime, Secret, he's gonna be in a lot of trouble. They are waiting for the IO. Just look at the positioning. Secret pops the Stone Gaze immediately, but gonna get zero value out of it, more or less. Going to right click away, activates the Mjolnir as well. Is he gonna get Chrono? Silence is there. Come on, Medusa, can he do something at all? Oh, relocate to safety. BKB was also baited out by the Faceless Void for some odd reason as Jay. Now he's around. There's the Aghanim Scepter picked up. Global Silence was used already though. Haste Rune is there for him. And Jay, well, he jumps forward. Immediate time walk out, and well, he gets Viper struck. No way to escape. Owa tried to come in to help, but there's the Doom onto the IO. He cannot help once again. Secret gonna get Chronoed. And well, there is a disconnect on the IO. So we'll see how this fight will pan out, but Owa, I can 100% guarantee you this IO will die. When you're Chronoed, you're doomed. And there is no global silence, no escape in sight. But look at this in the meantime, of course, with the Necrobook, with just the Howl being used for the Lycan. He might get Drax from this because I don't think anybody can TP back in time. Viper could, but he has to TP straight away. They're just gonna go for the kill. Secret gonna be the next target, of course. They will have another Viper strike, so they are gonna get the kill. RR though comes in with a haste rune, trying to do as much as he can. They're just gonna kill Vitamin Light. Secret, he is too much of a man for Assail to handle. The Mjolnir, the Mana Shield, Vitamin Light, still alive, trying to choke things out, but in the end does go down just to a simple split shot. Never mind, Silencer did get the kill instead. Lycan did not get the Rax though, just got the tier 3. That's good enough though, because they saved the Medusa. They get the kill on the Viper. They get the tier 3 down. Of course, Lycan himself died as well, so I guess not that great, but just exposed racks with a Lycan on the team is extremely scary for Assail. Or at least it should be scary for them. But Secret, looks like the next item will be a butterfly for him. Has the talisman of evasion already as it is. So more attack speeds. Evasion, I guess it's going to be decent-ish. At least try to evade poison attacks from the Viper, for example. In the meantime, Batrider, Booster traveled in, tried to go for a Sky of Mage, unable to do so, and Jay is building a Shadow Blade for himself. It might not be that bad of a pickup, I guess, in some cases. But Doombringer up to 3.4k gold, going for that Refresher Orb next. If he gets that, things will get a lot harder for Mineski, but he needs to be able to activate the double ultimate as well. So, still for the Batrider, if he can get the Doombringer or the Faceless Void, it's gonna be just dandy for Mineski. 1.5k in the meantime on the IO. IO definitely not that rich at all. But RR with the Aghanim Scepter for the next fight. I don't think it's gonna be enough to drain the mana pool of the Doombringer, but Faceless Void, if he doesn't BKB in time and gets Curse of the Silent on him, or has the BKB on cooldown for some reason during the Global Silence, he might just find himself too low on mana to use the Chronosphere. Chronosphere's mana cost also got increased with the most recent patch, meant as a slight nerf to the Faceless Void. The Void at the moment, he can dish out a decent amount of damage if he can just strike again. Look at Jay. Shadow Amulet is used. He's trying to be so sneaky. Look at where he's flying, flapping his wings. Indefinite invisibility as long as he does not move. Infinite invisibility. What am I saying, man? But is it gonna be paying off Mineski? They might wait for the next Roshan, or I guess if they really want to go for a tier 2, it's pretty nice to have the Batrider around in such a position, but there is a smoke, and that smoke will be broken almost immediately, and there is no detection. Never mind. They are going to just steer clear of the Batrider. I guess a little bit lucky for them, but then again, nobody usually smokes to the left side anyway. But they want to jump on Secret, or get the backlines. If they get the IO, to begin with, IO does tether himself to the high ground. Oh, the lasso comes out. They want to go for the Viper, but nice Fisher stops everything. Global Silence to death. He cannot go for his ultimate all of a sudden, but a nice Chrono, thanks to the help of the BKB Ova, will be the first to go down. But alright, he's gonna try to chase down Psionics, who gets slowed down by the Eye of Skadi. One shot from it was enough. In the meantime, Mystic Flare catches RR, him being stun locked by the Earthshaker. But Echo Slam was spent just for the Silencer, who had used his ultimate Secret. So he gets doomed, but he doesn't care. He's just gonna go for death, turns around, a few more reckless. Alright, does help out enough with his double damage rune. So in the end, it's going to be a 3-for-2, but Mineski only lose 2 heroes. Just Medusa is like, yeah, you doomed me. I really do not care. Just still has the mana shield activated. Just they need more focus on him other than the Doom. Even without Yayo being there. A nice Fisher once again from Vexus. But buybacks already come out. That's the second buyback that the Doom has had to use this game already. That's exactly why he is not number 1 in net worth. Just the 2 buybacks setting him back a little bit too much. Otherwise, he would already have the Refresher Orb, for example. They are trying to still go for a couple of kills, and well, they're gonna get the Lycan down, or are the Jay? He's around. Lasso steps into the Lycan. Shapeshift is used, but Viper Strike with the ensnare from a huge distance. I think he's gonna go down to the damage. Yes, he is. I have no idea exactly why he... Well, I guess with the relocate coming in, they wanted the heroes to be close by, but it felt a little bit weird. It's like, oh, Lycan is extremely low HP. Let's get the Doombringer next to him. In the end, though, they do get the Viper kill, so I guess it's decent-ish, and Death himself is not entirely in the clear, but uses the Hand of Midas in the enemy jungle. Feels probably safe enough by the looks of it. In the meantime, a Butterfly flying out for Secret. So, yeah. Shadowblade also finished on Jay. If you look at the net worths, just 3 heroes of Mineski are the top 3 positions there. Graphs 14,000 and plus for Mineski in net worth. 7.5k in XP, so it's not that big of a deal. Do we have anybody level 25? No, not even close to it. Level 20 is the highest so far in the game. But Roshan will be the target for Mineski and all. It's gonna carry a tasty cheese. Even a lasso was used somehow. I think the lasso popped the spell shield, so I don't know what. He was just because I can. Just because I can. Roshan, not the fastest, just because Lycan isn't around, but they're gonna get it rather safe anyway. And if you look at the map vision at the moment, Mineski does have some of it, but it's only on the top side, and even that is gonna expire. So hopefully they're gonna have new wards coming out on the IO or maybe on the Silencer. Silencer does have 2 of them in the inventory, so as I say that, places down 1. Going for the Refresher Orb next, has the Oblivion Staff already. So probably not gonna get it before the Doombringer gets his own, but he's not that far behind, to be honest. And well, it's only a support Silencer. 37 minutes in, Mineski. They haven't managed to claim racks yet. It's still looking pretty good for them just because Assail has not really managed to farm up any of their heroes from some point onwards. Still sitting on more or less the same net worth that they've been on for the at least past 5 minutes. If not a little bit more even. Just the buybacks and the inability to farm with Mineski just either pressuring objectives or just ganking people with Jay. Comes in with the Shadow Blade. Tier 3, of course, is destroyed, so there's no true vision. Shadow Blade will expire soon enough, so he's gonna have to blink out. But he's so speedy with the Yules. Shadow Blade activated, and in the meantime, they just get the tier 3 down. It's all worth it. Glyph does come out, and they're gonna jump in. Global Silence though does prevent the Chrono from coming out earlier on, but there's the 3-man Chrono. Io tries to creep RR alive, and well, he's gonna be highly successful. The 2 once again onto Secret, but he doesn't care. Look at the lightning procs. Amaranth does go down to the last right click. Lasso in the meantime drags down Faces White device back, but no Chrono anymore, so I guess his buyback might not be impactful. But there's the Blink Echo Slam Vexus. He is trying to be the savior for their team, but not gonna be enough. Lycan will lose his Aegis, but so far they only lost an IO. They might lose Jay, never mind. Shadow Blade, suddenly Psionics can't do anything at all. And they will try to turn things around. The Viper Strike on override without the Shapeshift does quite a lot, but with the Howl helping out, Secret catching up to a target. Rax will go down next. No buybacks on the dead heroes. And well, the other heroes don't have their ultimates. Well, Vitamin Light does, but even a Viper Strike just not good enough. So that's gonna be minimum 2 sets of racks, probably even 3. And I think with this Mineski, they probably have won the game for themselves. Just Medusa has been so ridiculously farmed that when he wasn't that farmed, when he wasn't that tanky, Io kept him alive and made him just tanky with the overcharge anyway. So well played as a team from Mineski to finish. Jay also creating a lot of space on the Batrider for their team. Another lasso comes out. Alright, he just goes into the base with his Blink Dagger, no less, on the Lycan. So GG is called. Assail, they do lose game number 1. They just lost a little bit too much momentum in the mid game, just unable to bring down the Medusa. They, of course, in a couple of fights, they did manage to focus the IO, which definitely helped them out a great deal, but Global Silence as well, just screwing them over big time. But guys, this was only game number 1 in a best of 3 series, so Assail definitely still have a chance. And I have to say, not having seen Assail for a long time, still I think the performance was pretty nice. It's not like they got stomped or anything. Just Mineski a little bit better in their execution, but well, who's to say what's gonna happen in game number 2, guys. But thank you so much for tuning in, even though Star Ladder is going on at the same time. Greatly appreciated by myself, and of course probably the teams also, and the Join Dota League itself. But if you want to see more of HeflaTV, you can always follow us on our social media, Facebook and Twitter. We're almost always gonna update you there when we're going live and on what channels with what games. And if you liked my casting personally, or if you thought there is something to improve on, be sure to let me know. It is at Coucher on Twitter, where you can leave me some feedback, or just Coucher on Facebook as well. But guys, having said that, we're gonna head into game number 2's lobby now, so see you in a couple of minutes.